What the hell is happening at CIG lately? And it's not just this week. This goes back a couple of months now. Backers are frustrated. CIG is clearly frustrated. There needs to be something done. CIG needs to look inside and just really take a step back because they're losing touch with backers here, and it's not just this loss. Let me just backtrack a little bit, right? So before I dive into the topic of what's happening here and the very, very strange language they used where they said our most passionate backers are making noise. Let me just translate. There's a lot of crybabies out there who are crying about something they shouldn't be crying about is essentially what they said here. But before we dive into that, let me just backtrack a little bit to explain what's happening recently, in recent months, which is just a series of missteps, beginning with what was the Ion nerf. Now, I made a video about the Ion being nerfed. It was a ship which was sold, the sales brochure sold the ship as being something. The ship was then released, we bought it, the ship was released, and then they nerfed it. They changed something about the ship, which was the main reason everyone bought it. I understand there's game balance. I understand they have to balance things in going forward. Yes, but when you sell something and you do a bait and switch, people get pissed. I got pissed. I'm still salty about it. But you know what? I'm a big boy. I'll get over it. But it didn't stop there, okay? Let's talk about Luminalia for a second. What happened at Luminalia event? Luminalia was over Christmas, and there were these green packages you all pick up, right? Everyone had a great time picking up these packages. They're worth $1,000 each. Then decreased it to $500 because they felt people were making too much money. Not a big deal. But here's the issue. They were also giving away a present, a gift every single day. So the first day was this ugly red sweater. Kind of funny, all right? Second day or one of the other days was a gold in-game knife. Cool. The final day of Luminalia was all building up to the big final gift. And I know I'm not alone in this one. I sat down in the morning, had a sip of my coffee, turned on the computer, and I saw a picture of the hoverbike. My initial reaction was, holy crap, they gave us all hoverbikes. I thought that was such a nice gesture. I don't know what the hoverbike's going to sell for, $20, $30, I don't know. But essentially, giving away a hoverbike to every single backer is an easy maybe $2-3 million that they won't be raising, but I thought it was a very nice gesture. It took me a couple of seconds to realize that the hoverbike was just a picture. Now, I don't know if they were trying to troll us, if someone said you thought it would be funny, but I felt there was a bad joke. I felt that was not, it was funny in case that it was not funny, because they could have at bare minimum saying, here is a picture of a hoverbike with a coupon for 15-20% off. Even better, buy one, get one free. Here's a coupon for buy one hoverbike, give one to a friend for Christmas for free. That would have made so much more sense to me. But instead, it was a picture of a hoverbike, and that was it. I thought that was in bad taste. I felt that they kind of thought it would be a funny joke, which really fell flat, in my opinion. But it doesn't stop there, all right? Because then came the Cutlass Steel. So you have a Cutlass. It's a ready-made ship. The ship is done. I understand if they hired some fancy concept artist and they built a new ship from scratch. But to sell us the Cutlass with a new paint job, with some more seats and then guns in it, and say, $235, please. Yes, I know that's what the price of other dropships are. Yes, I know it's priced accordingly to what the ship can do, but let's be honest here. If the Cutlass Steel was $150, I would have bought it right away. Yeah, $150. $175, I'd sleep on it. I'd give it some thought. $200, I'd sleep on it. I'd talk to people in my org. Hey guys, do you think $200 is worth it? Is this ship worth that in this group? Like, do we need a ship that can just take people down certain places for $200? I'd give it thought. $235, nah, forget it. I'm not buying it. And it's not only me. There are plenty of people I know that just buy every single ship that comes out, that ignored that didn't even bother buying that because I don't think it was just priced correctly. So there's a long list of misfires, and this is just the latest one. And what happened is this. Now, Noobify posted a nice summary there. He tweeted it out, and it's this. They removed a whole bunch of things from the roadmap. Now, before, I know you're trying to say, but hang on, the roadmap isn't a promise, it's tentative. I know. Let me just go through this, all right? Bear with me here. EVA T2 taken out, 0G taken out, persistent hangers taken out, Miss Cal C taken out, Pirate Swarm improvements out, Coffee Ship Vendor, you stay. What the hell? Now, we were joking about this on Reddit a while ago. This was posted last month by Chutch01, where he crossed out all these things, and he goes, haha, look, they're going to cross everything out and only leave these things in, and everyone had a good laugh. This is true. That's exactly what happened. So why does this happen? So before we go and slam them too hard, let's be fair and balanced here. Now, I've spoken to game devs, and they've explained it to me, and I have no problem confessing that before I actually followed starcitizen, I'd be at a 0 where my understanding of game development is. If you take a CIG dev being at 100, I used to be at 0. But over the years, as I follow this game, as I understand how it works, as I've spoken to game devs at events, it's become clearer to me how this all works. And I'm probably at around 50% of where I should be. And as a game dev, and I've asked a game dev about the situation, do things always get moved out of roadmaps? Absolutely, always happens. And the issue is this. It always comes down to potential problems, prioritization of other issues. If the manager comes up to you and says, here's a whiskey glass, can you make this ice cube spin around in the whiskey glass? The game dev will say, you know what? That could take about a week or two. I'm on it. He sits down, start hammering out code. And this is the example the dev gave me, I spoke to. Not CIG dev, it's a dev at another gaming studio. And he said, sometimes you work on something which is supposed to take 2 weeks, and you'll be done before lunch. You put in the code, it runs flawlessly for whatever reason. The gods are smiling upon you. You plug it in, there's no bugs, you're done before lunch. Amazing. Everyone claps because it just turned out that way. A week later, the manager comes up to you and says, hey, can you make whiskey spill out this glass if it's slammed onto the table too hard? Dev goes, you know what? That might take about 2-3 weeks. I'm on it. Dev sits down, starts coding away. Turns out he has to rely on some library of code written by a dev who was there 5 years ago. It's legacy code, which needs to be refactored to make what he needs done to work. He goes and starts working on the old legacy code, which turns out is spaghettified into a whole bunch of other systems. So to make his whiskey spilling code work, needs to change legacy code, which is tied into 100 other things. Now, what was supposed to take 2 or 3 weeks is now taking 6 months. It happens. So is this what's happening here? It's very possible. It's very possible it's what's happening. They're simply reprioritizing what they need to do right now versus things later. Now, these things are not going away. Paul Shelley posting a wonderful meme for us to understand. I want to be balanced on this, right? I want to display, I want to show you that we understand. So Darionator put this up. Thank you, Astropub, for retweeting. CIG, and in meme format, so we can understand it, all right? CIG didn't remove features from the roadmap. They're only prioritizing the progress tracker, where these features have always existed and will continue to do so. So why are people pissed? People are pissed because when things go up in the roadmap, and as was explained to us a very long time ago by Aaron Roberts, all right? Speaking of, where is Aaron Roberts? We haven't heard anything for a while.
I have
but
very much.
Listen to this.
And ask the team that what we put in there is what we can achieve with what we have right now.
Okay.
Specifically with also, the fact that people may be pulled onto Squadron, and and we know that
what we have in there is what we can achieve right now. The roadmap, we understand, is tentative. But when you have Aaron Roberts explaining we've worked so long on this new roadmap and we're going to show you things which we can definitely do now, and that turns out not to be true, people get pissed. Do we understand that tentative means it changes? Yes, but you can't tell people not to be frustrated by it, right? And the problem, it'll come down to the big issue now, the problem is the wording, and why CIG, it feels like CIG, is losing touch with the community is comments like this. Going to say, it put too much attention on features that have a high probability of shifting around. This is showing roadmap a few months out. It has become abundantly clear to us that despite our best efforts to communicate the fluidity of development, let's be very fair here. CIG is very good at being transparent. I don't know any other game that is as transparent as they are. But as transparent as they are, they still don't give us enough. And I know they gave us a bit, and every time they give you a bit, you want more. But there's some things which we need to know more about. Let me get back here in a second. CIG needs to reevaluate the tone. Absolutely. I think it's time Chris Roberts opens up about Squadron 42 or cancels it. Absolutely. What the hell is happening with Squadron 42? There's a lot of frustration built into this community, and it's bubbling up to the surface now because of this comment here. and how features marked as tentative should sincerely not be relied upon. The general focus of our most passionate players has continued that way. Many took our new focus and our words to heart and understood exactly what we try to convey. Let me just translate what's happening here. The general focus of our most passionate players. This is the problem with this. They're saying our passionate players. Let me translate that for you. There's a lot of loud crybabies out there. There's a lot of you bitching and crying about something which was tentative, where you know it's not supposed to be a promise, but yeah, we just had Aaron Roberts saying, if it's on here, then yeah, we can do it. So you see the problem, right? I explained, we understand that things can change, but we also have CIG saying one thing, and then you're leaving it up to us to basically understand that's not happening. I get it. See all this? Sorry, CIG, you've pissed me off. Gaslighting community, not good. CIG, you're throwing away one of the greatest assets you have, our trust. And this isn't new. This comes up a lot, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it to the level of salt that we have here. And everyone posting here is absolutely correct. CIG needs to be criticized about this, because when you say our passionate players not getting it, you guys are being big crybabies, so we remove this from you. They said the quiet part out loud. That's all it was. It wasn't worded correctly, and I feel it's just a long list of misfires. The Ion, Luminalia, Cutlass Steel, now this. They need to do an internal review there and reevaluate, because they're not treating their backers right. And this is coming from someone who puts positive content in this channel, all right? I love doing positive content. I love positivity. But you got to be aware, and I think everyone is aware, that there's something wrong. Someone at CIG is losing touch with the community, and this needs to be rectified. Like, I don't need apologies, but what I do need to see is Squadron 42. I do need to see what's happening with that. Explain to us. We're not babies. Explain to us the problem with that. Because if nothing happens in 2022 with Squadron 42, if we don't see progress on that, it's not going to look good. Your backers, the old ones and the new ones, are losing patience very, very quickly, and this needs to be rectified. So Chris Roberts moving to Manchester. We're all waiting with bated breath. There better be some stuff coming soon, because the community is really losing patience, and we see it here. So guys, let's stop that there. Give me your thoughts on what's happening. Do you feel this could have been reworded differently? I do. As always, if you enjoy this content, thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.